There's a little known muscle that barely will make you break a sweat, definitely won't make you breathless, but it may be responsible for decreasing your blood sugar levels and taking you out of fat storage, as well as reducing your risk of falls that could happen younger if you're not paying attention to it. I'm Debra Atkinson. I'm the founder of Flipping 50. Let me show you a couple of things about this muscle and where it is. And on the flip side, I'll tell you why it's so important to you. In a very recent 2022 study, subjects who did these soleus push-ups is what they're called. So it's heel raises to you and I in a seated position, and that's important. The knee has to be bent because your soleus muscle is the calf muscle underneath your gastroc. You'll only get the gastroc when you do standing heel raises. But this little muscle can decrease your blood sugar levels that spikes naturally after meals by 52% and decreased insulin levels by 60%. Here's why that's so important. Because rarely for women over 50 do you hear about like doing calf work, unless it is like standing on your solid ground and lifting your heels up or taking your heels and dropping them down below the step. And here's the other piece you have to remember. We need ankle mobility because that's one of the causes of the senior shuffle is we lose ankle mobility because all of us, since we were 10 months, depending on when you started walking, we've been up and we've been, kind of beating up on those ankles. If you were a runner or you did sports that caused trauma, you've had a lot of sprained ankles, we lose some of that ankle mobility simply because those joints have taken a lot over our lifetime. So keeping your ankle mobility is super important. So let me show you how once you've exercised them, you stretch them. Really important. Keep in mind, always bent. So a straight leg will stretch the gastroc. You have to bend that knee, but leave the heel down. So there you have it. It's really easy to use this muscle group. So what you want to do is focus on while you're sitting. In fact, that's the only place where you really focus on the soleus itself. So the soleus lays underneath your big calf muscle. It's called your gastrocnemius, the gastroc for short, for obvious reasons. But that soleus muscle only gets exercised when your knee is bent, because otherwise your gastrocnemius takes over. So you need to do it sitting down. And you can. All you have to do is heel raises. That actually supports pumping up or doing what's called in the 2022 study, the soleus push-ups. And all you need to do is little sprints at a time, do them throughout the day. If you can keep that going for 4 minutes, but you're probably gonna be distracted by doing something else, your daily activities of life, and not do it for that long. But little bits of this will still be super helpful for you. So on the flip side, if you want to help yourself prevent the falls, what we know is if you're doing a little bit more weight resistance, now if you go to the gym and you see there's a calf machine and they generally have you sitting down, and then there are pads that go on the top of your legs with weight that you choose how much you're putting on, and you will do those heel raises from that. So if you're at home or you're in a desk or around the office, look for big books. You could put a couple big books on your lap. If you wanted to take those big books, now you've got a solid surface. Take your kettlebell or a dumbbell and put them on top of it. And you can do some sets of exercises. Just do them periodically throughout the day. You're gonna have the risk of maybe a little bit more time and effort paying attention to it, but decreasing your glucose levels by 52% after meals. That means lower blood sugar, doesn't take as much insulin. That also decreased by 60% among subjects in the trial. That's a big deal. When your insulin is elevated, to remove that blood sugar out of your system to protect your body, you're in fat storage. So if you're trying to lose weight, we're generally trying to burn fat. Your body can't do two equal opposite things. It's always going to choose self-preservation. because even though we don't need it anymore, it doesn't know that you're not starving, that you're not under threat or running from a tiger or a dinosaur. So you want to make sure that we keep the blood sugar levels much more stable, a little bit lower, so we don't have to have more insulin going in all the time to bring it back down. So much better. And risk of falls are shown to be occurring at a lower age in women who have a weak soleus muscle. The two have been correlated since 2013. So we don't exercise this very often. If you do, I'm gonna be willing to bet, if you do calf raises, you do them standing. You might do them standing on a stair where your heels are dropped just a little bit and you raise from there. You're only working the gastrocnemius. You're not getting the soleus muscle. But now it gets so easy. You don't even have to go to the gym. You don't have to have equipment. You can do them at home. So just pumping them up. And here's another thing. So if you've got older, aging parents or other relatives, having them do seated, not just toe raises, which also are important, but that is called dorsiflexion. What we're doing here for the heels is doing a heel push-up or plantar flexion. So lifting your heel up and down. Have them do both. They will be more likely to be able to pull their toes up when they walk forward, not doing so much shuffling, and they'll have more power in the push-off, and potentially we're decreasing their risk of falls as well as giving them ankle mobility. If you have questions, please drop them below. If this was helpful, let me know it. I will share more studies as they come in. I'll see you on the flip side.